At dawn on March 1st, 1954, the Pacific Ocean was calm. The sky above Bikini Atoll was clear, and deep inside a concrete bunker, American scientists believed they understood exactly what was about to happen. They were wrong. Castle Bravo was designed to be a triumph, a controlled demonstration of American supremacy in a world gripped by Cold War fear. The United States wanted a hydrogen bomb that was lighter, more efficient, and vastly more powerful than anything before it. On paper, the yield was predictable, manageable, around 5 megatons. But nuclear weapons don't always obey calculations. At 6:45 a.m., the bomb detonated. In an instant, the horizon turned white. The fireball expanded faster than human comprehension. Coral vaporized. Ocean water boiled into the sky. And within seconds, it became clear this was no ordinary test. Castle Bravo did not produce 5 megatons. It produced 15. What followed was not just a scientific error, but a chain reaction of human consequences that would spread far beyond the blast zone, carried silently by the wind, and paid for by people who were never warned, never protected, and never given a choice. This was the moment the Cold War crossed an invisible line, and the world learned how little control humanity truly had over the weapons it created. The miscalculation. The mistake began long before the explosion. Castle Bravo was fueled by lithium deuteride, a new material scientists believed would make hydrogen bombs smaller and easier to deploy. The theory was elegant, the math seemed sound, but buried inside the equations was a fatal assumption, that one form of lithium would remain inert. It didn't. When the bomb ignited, lithium-7, previously dismissed as harmless, began reacting violently. Instead of limiting the blast, it supercharged it. The weapon fed on itself, growing stronger with every microsecond. Physicist Edward Teller had warned that thermonuclear weapons carried unknown risks. Others dismissed the concern. In the race to outpace the Soviet Union, uncertainty became acceptable collateral. Within seconds, the fireball expanded more than 4 miles wide. The shockwave tore across the atoll. Instruments maxed out. Observers stood frozen as the mushroom cloud climbed higher than any nuclear cloud before it, punching into the stratosphere. Then came the fallout. Pulverized coral, irradiated and glowing white, was sucked upward and scattered across the sky. What drifted back down looked like snow. It fell on nearby islands. It coated fishing boats. It clung to skin, hair, food, and water. No alarm sounded. On Rongelap and Utirik, islanders woke to ash settling on their homes. Children played in it. Adults tasted it. No one told them it was lethal. Even American servicemen stationed downwind were left exposed, because admitting the scale of the disaster meant admitting the bomb had slipped beyond control. And once radioactive fallout is released, there is no recalling it. The human fallout. The danger was invisible. Radioactive fallout spread far beyond the test zone. On nearby islands, people fell ill within days. Skin burned, hair fell out. Children were hit hardest. Evacuation came late. Survivors were studied, not warned. Exposure was recorded. Lives were disrupted. The long-term cost followed. Cancer rates rose. Pregnancies failed. Entire communities lived with illness and displacement for decades. The fallout crossed borders. The Japanese fishing vessel, Lucky Dragon No. 5, was contaminated far from the blast site. One crew member died. Japan erupted in outrage, reopening the wounds of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Publicly, responsibility was downplayed. For those exposed, the test never ended. Consequences and legacy. The blast ended in seconds. The damage did not. Parts of the Marshall Islands remain contaminated decades later. Cancer rates rose. Families were displaced again and again, promised help that often arrived too late, or not at all. Castle Bravo also changed the world beyond the islands. The exposure of the Lucky Dragon No. 5 ignited global outrage and helped drive the movement against atmospheric nuclear testing. In 1963, world powers quietly acknowledged the danger by banning tests in the open air. The lesson was unavoidable. Nuclear weapons are not controlled by borders, intentions, or confidence. Their consequences spread, silently, indiscriminately, long after the explosion fades. Bikini Atoll is quiet now, but Castle Bravo never really ended.